I'm a lit kid beat. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the Monday, June 5th edition of the Daily Fix. We appreciate you joining us. If it's your first time with us, welcome. My name is Breon, and I'm your moderator of the group. I'll monitor the chat, maybe in individual messages, details that come along as we continue to grow the Daily Fix. For those of you who are new or just to returning members, we appreciate you being here. I do want to give a few details on how the content calendar works before we get started with today's session. So, Monday and Tuesday, we have Coach Brittany content. On Wednesday, we have a special guest who comes in and joins us. On Thursday, it's the community's opportunity. We have our community deep dive. And then on Friday, turn those cameras on. We switch platforms and we go for our Q&A. Your opportunity to ask questions directly to Brittany, to me, to anyone in the community, details that you may have been wanting to get some clarification on or update as we go out through the week. So we encourage you to join us on that Friday Q&A also. A few housekeeping details before we get started. This is streamed live. So welcome if you're new and this is your first time here. This is a live platform and the chat is always active. So just keep in mind that if you want to say something more private or in a more anonymous fashion, that everyone will be able to see it if you put it on the chat. So we want you to be as active as possible, but keep in mind that chat is public. It is active at all times. One last housekeeping detail before we bring Brittany on to get the session started today. This month is kind of a mixed month for us. We're still in our purpose conversation now, but then we'll go into the men's weeks here towards the back half of the month. So if you're interested in that, tell a friend, tell a male friend of yours who may be interested in being a part of the group and the community also. So let me bring Brittany on so we can discuss what we're talking about today. Good morning, Brittany. Good morning.
Good morning.
You and that,
How are you?
you and that halo. I see you were trying to adjust just a little bit, but it's still there.
I've been trying all morning to get the perfect angle.
Yeah,
Hold on, let me,
it's getting
because y'all know
close, it's close.
I'm back on that three camera kick. So anytime I'm on three cameras, listen, there's no perfect
There's
way for
no
me to
perfect angle.
stand.
There's none. There's none.
But hey
So
y'all, hey, how are y'all doing? Good morning.
good morning,
I,
good
I was
morning.
gonna come on and say, do the lit morning chat.
No one is doing all that. Like what are we doing? And that dance is from 92. Like that dance is from 1992. Like
But if it's a classic, it's a classic. Okay. We will all be. This will be the daily fix national. That's gonna be our national dance. Okay. I'm
what
with it.
are we talking about today? What are we talking about today?
So we are continuing our conversation surrounded around purpose, right? And last week we talked a lot about understanding what purpose is, right? What it is, what it's not, and really getting clarity as far as what is the reason for purpose? Why do we need purpose? How does it serve us? And then we had our guest speaker come on last week, and I'm still digesting everything he
Yeah,
said last
yeah,
week
definitely.
because I've been trying to make sure I haven't Joseph myself. Like
I
I don't
know,
know if
right?
y'all are in the chat. Have y'all been trying to make sure that y'all haven't Joseph yourself from last week? Because I'm telling you, I'm still on that. And um, let me hit the live button because I didn't hit the live button.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. We are live again. So this is a more public
Hold
session.
on.
Just still allowing people to see what the daily fix is about. So yes, you probably do need to hit live. Yes.
I have hit the live button. All right. Good morning again. Good morning again to everybody on Instagram. I am live in the Daily Fix right now. My Daily Fix community has joined me on YouTube because that's where they meet with me every morning. But for you guys tuning in on Instagram, today is going to be a public day just to give you guys a sneak peek of what we do every morning here in the Daily Fix. Daily Fix is our morning group. We meet at 8:30 Central Standard Time, which is my time, and we have different topics around personal growth and development. And if you weren't here last week, we're talking about purpose. So this whole month, well, the half of month of June, we're talking about how to uncover our purposes, how to step into our purposes. And so we're continuing that conversation today.
Nice.
And last week, we talked about really understanding what purpose is, right? And how do I identify my purpose? Today, I want to talk to you guys about the roadblocks of purpose, right? And I think that was one of the questions that we got on our Friday Q&A was, well, what are some of the things that are blocking me? Because it never fails. If you say, I want to be someone who is purposeful or intentional with my life and how I move and how I act, there is no perfect angle for this bun. I'm just,
Look. I kept seeing you try to adjust. I was like, look, what are you doing?
because it's three cameras, and I'm just like, okay, that one looks good. That's okay. Instagram, y'all gonna have to have the worst angle, but it's okay. It's all right. When y'all join the Daily Fix, y'all have the best angle. But
Multiple
yes,
camera angles. Yes, multiple at that point. Yes.
listen. So I want to talk about the barriers. What's getting in the way of people truly walking in their purpose? What gets them in the way of even saying yes to their purpose, right? So that's what our conversation is going to be about today. For you guys joining me on Instagram, welcome. Good morning. Welcome to the Daily Fix. Hope you guys join the Daily Fix so that y'all can be with me every morning. Okay. But yes, that's what I have for today.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna let you to it. Of course, as typical,
Can
I'll
can
come
we
back on.
make can we make lit morning like a thing though? I feel like lit morning should be all right.
I mean, I mean, it
We're gonna
needs to
change the
go.
music.
It needs to go under consideration. Right now, I'm not sold on Litmore. Just not quite. Not quite.
Lit morning?
Under consideration though. Under
No. Okay. All
consideration.
right.
All right.
Well,
Get to it. We'll see in a bit.
you can't win them all. Okay. All right, you guys. I am ready to hop in. In the chat, if you guys are ready, thank you, Janae. See, Janae is with me, lit morning. Okay. If you guys are ready to talk about purpose, put I'm ready in the chat. I'm ready. I'm ready. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. I hope you got some rest this weekend because we talked about a lot last week. All right. So, when it comes to the barriers of discovering and walking in your purpose, first of all, I want you guys, I'm going to back up to last week. Remember when I said that purpose is kind of like thinking about what something was intended to do, right? So, when you think about discovering your purpose, when you think about what your purpose is, I want you guys to think about what was the thing that I was intended to be and do in this world, right? So if I say I want to create, I'm still waiting on, they have it in Dubai. I haven't seen it here, but I'm still waiting on someone. Hey, Michael, I want somebody to come up with that service where I can just order gasoline from an app on my phone and I don't have to go to the gas station anymore. Like I'm waiting for that service, right? Why? Because I've made up in my mind there's an issue, there's a need in the world of me not wanting to go to the gas station or forgetting to go to the gas station every week, right? And I'm like, every time I'm like, why hasn't someone created an app like Uber that I can just order gas and it'll show up in my gas tank, right? But I had an idea of something that needed to be fixed and done. And then I create something to do it. When we think about purpose, that's what purpose is, right? That there's a need in the world, there's an issue in the world, there's something that needs to be done in the world. And you were created to come into the world and do that thing, right? That's what I want you guys to think about when I say purpose. So, when I talk about the barriers, what are the barriers that are stopping you from coming into the world and doing the thing that you're supposed to do? What's getting in the way of you actually being the person that you're supposed to be? What's getting in the way of you achieving the things that you're supposed to achieve? There's certain mile markers throughout your life that you're supposed to reach. However, we don't all reach them for various reasons. So this morning, I want to dive into 5 of the most common barriers that I see people hit. And the very first one, when it comes to truly understanding your purpose, walking in your purpose, being confident in your purpose, first out the gate is always going to be your own self doubt and fear. Self doubt and fear, right? When we talk about you walking in your purpose, you will always have a who am I moment. You will always have that feeling that says, who am I to do this thing? Who am I to be this successful? Who am I to build this family? There's always this moment where when you're pursuing the thing that you feel like you've been put here to do, you start to question and doubt yourself. Do I have what it takes? Is there enough of me to be the thing that I'm trying to become? If you don't understand self-doubt is a natural part of this process, some people will take those voices of self-doubt and they will allow it to stagnate them for years, right? never truly believing that they could have the business, never truly believing that they could build the family that they want to have, or get the degree, or build the life that they want. And so instead of actually taking action to become the thing that they want to become, they allow self-fear to it's kind of like being stuck in quicksand, right? People with self who are suffering from self-doubt and fear as it relates to purpose, you will hear them talk about their purpose all the time. They will talk about what they want to do, and all the visions and all the things that they have. And oh, when I want to do this and I want to do this. And they have a great grand vision of what they see for themselves, but you never see action. And so these are the people that you'll hear them talk all the time about what they want to see done differently. They talk all the time about what they want their lives to look like, or who they want to become. But you never see change behavior. Why? Because while their minds may be on what they want to do, their behavior cannot follow, because self-doubt is the barrier. Fear is the barrier, right? In order for us to overcome self-doubt, first you have to understand that anytime I am elevating, anytime I'm moving into a new season of my life, anytime that I am, walking in something different, or I'm truly embracing this bigger part of myself, self doubt is a part of that process. You will always have a moment that says, who are you? Why do you think you're special? Why do you think you're the one who can do this? Why do you think you're the one who can make this happen? And this is why I am so big. And I tell you guys all the time, you have to know who you are. You have to know who you are. And I always say, it's not this big grand picture, right? You may not know on a full spectrum of as far as who you are in this moment, but you got to know, okay, based on my life and how the trajectory of my life has gone, I know that I'm resilient. I know that I'm good working with my hands. I know that I'm good at organizing a team. I know that I'm good at motivating people and inspiring people. I know that these things about me, I know, right? Last week I told you guys that when I think about how we're all made, I think of it kind of like a soup pot, right? And God is just putting ingredients, right? He just puts ingredients. And all of those ingredients make up who you are, right? So, I know for a fact, he gave me, my charisma for a reason. Okay. He gave me my down to earth personality for a reason. He gave me my perfectionism for a reason. He gave me my attention to detail for a reason. He gave me my very sometimes black and white personality for a reason, right? That there are certain things that he gave me on purpose so that I could be successful in the thing that I was put here to do, right? So when we're trying to overcome self-doubt and fear, you got to start understanding, what are my ingredients? What are the things about me that was specifically put into me so that I would be successful at doing the thing that I've been called here to do, right? It's not always that I have a clear understanding of this big thing, but sometimes it's just those small things. You know that you're good at making people laugh. You know that you're good at making people feel good about themselves. You know that you're good at inspiring people or helping people get to the next level. Just hold on to the little things that you know about yourself. That alone will give you the direction point, right? And it gives me a reason to not turn around, right? When I know just a little bit about who I am. And recovering from self doubt, we have to kill that voice that's telling us that we're not good enough. We have to kill that voice that's telling us that we don't deserve it. Um, and for some of you, if you were like me, I want to say, when one of the biggest barriers for me accepting my purpose was feeling like, because of where I've come from, because of, the trajectory of my life, I was like, okay, if I'm going to accept this purpose, like, it feels like it's too big for me. Listen, I'm trying to move out of this thing on my face. Okay. But it feels like it's too big for me, right? That there's somebody else who deserves this level of responsibility. There's someone else who deserves this level of influence. There's someone else who deserves whatever this thing is that I have to walk into. So, one of the barriers for a lot of people stepping into purpose is feeling like, do I really deserve it? Like, am I really good enough for it? Right? Many times the voice that's challenging whether or not you deserve something is the voice that is holding on to who you've been, right? Holding on to your mistakes, holding on to your failures, holding on to all the things that you didn't get right. And so now that I have to walk into my purpose and I got to be this better version of who I am, this bigger version of who I am, I'm holding on to who I used to be. And that's the voice that's telling me that I don't deserve to be where I am today. So we have to kill the voice that keeps reminding us of who we used to be. You have to kill the voice that keeps reminding you of the things you did 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 20 years ago, last week. Okay, last week. All right. We have to kill the voice that's telling us that for whatever reason, we don't deserve to be in this room. And when I understand the ingredients that make up who I am, I understand why I have to be in this room. I may feel like I'm ill-equipped. I may feel like I don't belong here. I may feel like other people are more experienced than me. I may feel like other people have more to offer than me. But when I understand the ingredients, I also understand because I have this thing, this one unique thing inside of me, that's the reason why I've been put here. That's the reason why I'm in this room. And I'm going to honor that thing without really comparing myself to the other people that are in the room. All right. So the first barrier, you guys, is to truly uncovering and walking in your purpose is the fact that you're going to have to overcome self-doubt and fear. And I really just want to normalize. If you aren't doubting yourself, you aren't aiming big enough. Okay. Self-doubt is a part of this journey. I want to normalize it is okay for you to question yourself. And many times it's good to question yourself because when I have to talk back to myself and remind myself of who I am, I'm building up that courage. I'm building up that confidence to remember this is who I'm supposed to be in this season, right? And this is the thing I'm supposed to do. So it's okay to doubt yourself. It's okay to question yourself. Expect it. It's going to come with the process, but know that I have the power to speak back to myself and kill the thoughts that's telling me I don't deserve to be here. Okay. The next one is a lack of clarity. The next barrier to you uncovering and walking in your purpose is the fact that you have no clarity. Before I uncover that one, real quick, if this is helping you guys, put it in the chat that this is helpful. All right. On Instagram, YouTube. If this is helping you guys, put it in the chat so that I know that this is helpful for you. If you're on Instagram, all right, you need to be in the Daily Fix. We do this every morning. My tribe is with me on my YouTube right now, but every morning they meet with me to discuss a different topic. And this month we're talking about purpose. So the link to join is on my bio, but it's also in my comment box, right? So if you want this every day, then join our group, all right? Okay, so the next one, lack of clarity. One of the reasons why people struggle to move in their purpose is the fact that the road is not clear, right? So if you think about driving, one of my pet peeves, this dawned on me the other day. I don't know why people do this, and I've done it before, so it's like I can't really be mad at people. But I'll get in my car, and if I know I'm going somewhere, the first thing I do, I have to put the address in my GPS. I have to. It's just I have to, right? Right? So that I'm not guessing about which road to take. I know exactly how to get there. I know how long it's going to take me to get there. I have to put it in my GPS. But I'll be in the car with somebody, and we'll be going somewhere, and then we'll be driving, and they'll think to put the address in the GPS like 20 minutes in. I'm like, why did you put the address in when we first got on the road, right? Because by the time they think to put in the GPS, it's because we're lost. Right? Or by the time they think to put in the GPS, it's because they're trying to figure out what exit am I supposed to take. And I'm like, well, why didn't you just put it in when we got in the car, right? But that is a great demonstration of how do we expect to get to a certain place in our lives? How do we expect to reach a certain destination in our lives? And we have no clarity about where we're supposed to be traveling to, right? When we talk about walking in your purpose, uncovering your purpose, one of the biggest barriers is the fact that you're not clear about what you like. You don't know what you're passionate about. You don't know what you're interested in. There's nothing that gives you any type of guidance and direction. So you don't know if I'm moving in the right direction or if I'm not moving in the right direction, right? In order for you to get clear on where you feel you should be right now, especially as it relates to purpose, you have to take time to participate in your own self-exploration. You have to take time to explore yourself fully, to truly understand what lights me up, what gives me energy, right? Purpose One of the key indicators of purpose is the thing that you're doing will always give you energy, right? Purpose is always life giving to the purpose who to the person who's doing the thing, right? Uh, I don't know why I'm thinking about that can opener from yesterday, right? But we are more energized when we're doing the thing that we're designed to do. We're more excited when we're doing the thing that we're designed to do. We're more energetic. It's like that I've said it before, like I'll be ready to like dead tired before I go live on Tuesdays, and I'll be ready to just go to sleep. But the minute that I go live, the minute I start talking, my energy goes up. And that's because the thing, right? The thing that I do is now activated, and that gives me energy, that gives me breath, that gives me wind. Pay attention to the things that Pay attention to the things that you feel are just sucking the life out of you. Pay attention to the things that you do that you feel are just literally just robbing you of your youth. Right? You can feel the wrinkles coming in your face. Why? Because when I'm not operating in my purpose, doing the thing that I'm designed to do, life feels more like a chore than it does feel like something I'm supposed to enjoy. All right? Write that down. For my daily fix people, I know y'all taking notes. When you are not walking or operating in your purpose, when you're not doing the thing that you're designed to do, life feels like a chore. It does not feel like something that you are enjoying. It doesn't feel like something I wake up and I'm excited to do, because life feels more like it feels like your life is about obligations and responsibilities, but there's nothing in your life that makes you feel alive. And this is why you'll have people who, when they're not operating in their purpose, they start participating in sabotaging behaviors, whether it's excessive drinking, getting high, partying all the time, doing things that add no value to their life because they're searching for this high. They're searching for this feeling that makes them feel something, because life is just so mundane. At some point, it just gets numb, right? There's nothing that gives you that breath of air, right? You want to make sure that I'm living, that somewhere in my life I have outlets of my purpose, because depending on where you are in your life, you won't always be walking in purpose. Purpose is an unfolding experience, right? Over time, you learn more about what your purpose is and how you can operate in it. So it's not something that you're going to get all at once. But you can have pockets of purpose, right? Before I truly understood who I was supposed to be and what I was supposed to be doing, I had pockets of purpose in every job I've ever had, right? I was always that person who was helping someone. I was always that person who was speaking life. I was always that person who was teaching, no matter where I went. Those were my pockets of purpose until I understood, oh, this is what you're supposed to be doing like all the time. Right? And then I was able to pursue that. So when we're talking about clarity, I want you guys to ask yourself, have I given myself enough of my own attention? All right? This is a journal prompt for some of you. Have I given myself enough of my own attention to understand what lights me up, to understand what gives me energy, to understand what makes me happy? What is the thing you would do if you had to do it for free? Right? And I know that's a cliche question, but what is the thing you would do if you had to do it for free? 9 times out of 10, that's where your purpose is going to be. No, we don't, none of us do stuff for free without there being some benefit attached to it, right? And when it comes to purpose, the benefit, the payoff is not money, but it's how I feel after I do it. It's the fulfillment that I get after I do it. It's the energy I get after I do it. That's the payoff. And this is why we would do it if we're not getting money for it, right? So when we talk about lack of clarity as it relates to your purpose, I want you guys to ask yourself, have I really taken time to self-reflect? And keep in mind, self-reflection is ongoing, right? We grow. Every year, you're not the same person, or you shouldn't be the same person. Every year, you should be growing, you should be developing, you should be leveling up. That means that as I am investing in my own personal growth, my purpose is growing. It gets bigger. The more that I have to give as an individual, the bigger my purpose gets. So this means that I have to be in self-reflection constantly to make sure, is my purpose elevating the same way I am? Is my purpose growing the same way that I am? Okay. And with lack of clarity, this is also where you can take time to seek out advice from mentors, coaches, People who are doing the thing that you like or you're attracted to. Start studying those people. Start looking at what those people have done. Start looking at the journeys of those people so that you can better understand your journey, right? You're never going to be able to duplicate somebody's journey. Your journey will always look different for you getting to your purpose. You will never be able to duplicate it. But I can learn from what they did and how they were able to execute in their purpose based on how they showed up, right? I can learn from them, but understand that my journey will never look like somebody else's. All right. The third one, the third barrier to your purpose is the fact that very early in life, one of the reasons why it's hard for us to understand our purpose, hard for us to walk on our purpose, um, there are certain external expectations and pressures that we receive early on in life, right? If it's, the mom who's like, oh, my son gonna grow up, he's gonna be a basketball player. Ain't nobody asked you if you like basketball. We don't know if you got basketball skills. Right? But the parent has decided my child is going to be an athlete before the child could even find out what they liked, before the child could even make a decision about what sport they were attracted to. The parent makes decisions for them, right? And that is common across cultures, right? Across the sexes, where depending on what household you're raised in, there are certain expectations, whether spoken or unspoken, that are placed on you so that you feel like now I have to live up to this thing. Now I have to live up to this idea of what people think I should be or who people think I should be, right? Now, I don't know why that just came to me, but in certain homes, it's not even that the expectation is a high expectation. Sometimes there's a low or no expectation, right? That sometimes you grow up in an environment that doesn't cultivate your growth. You grow up in an environment that doesn't cultivate you being the best version of you. You grow up in environments that don't even cultivate your gifts and your talents and tell you that you're special and expect. Sometimes we grow up in environments that don't expect us to be successful. Sometimes we grow up in environments that don't expect us to be leaders or to be great at what we do or to have families. Sometimes we grow up in environments that expect nothing from us, and that's why they don't invest in us. Whew, that one. Sometimes we grow. I remember I was where was I at? I was I was still in, I had just finished, I was in my senior year in high school. And when I got accepted to go to college, I told y'all before, I thought that the expectation was, I thought the exception letter was like fake. Like I was like, is this a prank? Like I really thought it was a fake letter. I took it to my uncle. My uncle thought it was a fake letter. Me and him staring at it. I'm like, did this mean I'm going to college? And he was like, yeah, I think this is it. I think so. Right? Because I was the first person in my family to be a university graduate. I was also the first person in my family to go away, to move out of Austin, right? And to go to college. So I was the first person doing all of this in my family. So it was very different. No one knew what to expect. And I remember being like, okay, I think I'm excited, but I'm not sure because I don't really know what this means, right? When word got around to my family that I was going to college, I remember we went to like a barbecue and all my cousins was around and my aunties and aunties and them, And I remember there being a whole conversation about why she going to college. I mean, how she get in? She gonna be back. She ain't gonna make it her first year. She's not gonna make it a year away. She gonna get pregnant. And I remember there was this whole conversation about the likelihood of my success in college. Now, mind you, none of these people are college graduates. But none of them ever had an expectation of me going to college. None of them had an expectation of me being successful. If anything, there was a low expectation of you finish high school, you get pregnant, and then you just go on, you just drift through life. Right? That was the low expectation. And so when you talk about purpose, and this is why for me, the idea, my mindset shifting into prosperity was such a groundbreaking shift for me because I had to come out of a world that said that we don't expect good things to happen. I had to come out of a world that said, I don't expect great things for you, that the bare minimum is enough, that having just enough to survive is enough. I had to force myself out of that mindset that I grew up in. So many people, one of the biggest barriers to you truly walking in your purpose is the fact that you have to confront where you came from. You have to confront the expectations of who raised you. You have to confront the pressures that people put on you to be something that is not authentically you, to be something that doesn't fit you. There are so many parents trying to live out their lives through their children, right? It takes courage to be able to say, hey, mom, I love you, but that's not what I want to do. Hey, dad, I love you, but that's not who I am. We're going to have to confront the pressures that come with people who love us. They want the best for us. But sometimes it's hard for us to get to who we are because we're trying to satisfy what everybody else thinks we should be, right? So this is where you have to learn how to be a rebellious rule breaker. Okay. Now, for me, it works out well. I don't know what button. Okay, there we go. For me, it comes easily. I'm a middle child. I enjoy upsetting people. I enjoy bucking the system. I enjoy fighting, fighting back. Right. So for me, the idea of disrupting what people want me to be at this point is very easy for me. Right. Not always. It hasn't always been easy, but over time, I've been able to say I would rather be me than to be the person that you want me to be, because that's what gives me fulfillment. That's what makes me happy. That's what allows me to wake up every day confident in who I am. As long as you're trying to live up to the expectations of what other people place on you, confidence will be very difficult. Having true confidence will be very difficult because you will always feel like a um, imposter. You will always feel like I'm not truly that person, right? And so your confidence will always be lacking. All right, is this helpful? I have two more points and I'm gonna let y'all go. If you guys are just joining on Instagram, hey y'all, hey. This is my Daily Fix community. So every morning, the Daily Fix, my people on my YouTube, they join me every morning because they're here to grow. And so we have a conversation every morning related to different things. And this month, we're talking about purpose. The last 2 weeks of June, I'm going to post that flyer today. We are having a whole men's section where we're only talking about topics that relate to men. And I'm not leading the sessions. We're going to have 6 Black male therapists come in and lead those sessions. So head over to the link in the bio, the link on the comment section, and get signed up, thedailyfix.co. And yeah, we do this every morning, Monday through Friday. All right, you guys, last two. This is my favorite one. One of the key barriers for you obtaining your purpose, walking in your purpose, is perfectionism and overthinking. Perfectionism and overthinking. Constantly analyzing every step that you have to take is going to lead to your inaction or stagnation. Okay, I have so much to say on this one. So, perfectionism over time has made me great at what I do, right? This is why when y'all see certain things and it'll look a certain way, it's because I am so adamant about the details of something. I'm very big on details, right? Um, Perfectionism, getting things right. While it is a great trait to aim to do something at the best of your ability, it is also the greatest hindrance that you could have when as it relates to purpose. Because what I have learned is that we spend so much time trying to get things to look a certain way. We spend so much time trying to put effort and attention into something, and it has to be exactly what I thought it was going to be, and it has to look exactly how I wanted it to look, that instead of being purposeful, you become ineffective. Instead of being purposeful, you became ineffective because you were so focused on the wrapping paper of the thing. You were so focused on, does the slides look right? And did I say this the right way? Did I walk the certain way? You were so focused on getting something exactly right that you missed the window to be effective. This is why sometimes you just got to put stuff on Instagram because That's what the moment called for, not because the video was perfect. Listen, many of my videos have, whether they're blurry or something's out of focus or the lighting ain't right. Listen, was the video effective? Did it do the thing that it was designed to do? Did it reach the people that it was designed to reach? You have to be careful about perfectionism, because sometimes perfectionism is a response to growing up in traumatic environments, right? I learned very quickly that I have to do something a certain way, live a certain life, and I had to be very careful. And it's crazy because I was in high school, and my thought process was always, Brittany, you have to do things a certain way, because if you mess up in any way, your future is gone. Right? That you have to make the right decisions in order to get out of my environment, in order to be able to leave home, in order to be successful. There was this mindset that kept telling me, Brittany, if you mess up, you could lose everything. If you mess up, you're going to get trapped here. You ain't going to never be able to leave. And so, because I had this fear of being stuck in a place I didn't want to be, I was hell bent on always making the right decision. I was hell bent on always showing up a certain way, always looking a certain way, so that I didn't suffer any consequences for my bad decision making, right? That's a traumatic response. That is a response to growing up in an unpredictable and traumatic environment, right? With purpose, I listen. When purpose and perfection don't go together. Purpose and perfection do not go together, because there have been so many things that I have done that were incomplete, according to me, or were didn't they weren't my best work, or they weren't something that I wanted to brag or show off to the world, but they were the most impactful, right? They were the most impactful. There have been many times I've stepped on stage and people like, "Oh my God, this was great. You said something," and the only thing going through my head is, "Well, you could have said this, and you should have said it this way, and you could have said this," because I'm already tweaking my performance, missing the fact that the performance that I did was exactly what it needed to be. You have to learn to replace perfectionism with effectiveness. Not how perfect was it, not how great was the execution, not how wonderful did it look. Was it effective? Did it actually achieve the thing that you wanted it to do? Did it actually reach the people that you were trying to reach? Did you get the outcome that you were looking for? That's what we have to shift to when we're talking about purpose, because purpose is not always pretty. Purpose is not always, I get OCD about lines sometimes, and I want things to line up just right. That's not purpose. That's just making something look pretty. But when I commit to purpose, I have to commit to the fact that something can be effective and it can be ugly. Something can be effective and it can be incomplete. Something can be effective and it can look crazy to the world. But was it effective? Right? In analysis paralysis, we have to get out of this thing where, we always say, "Oh, I'm preparing to do something, I'm getting my ducks in a row, I'm researching, I'm praying about it." And so you have all of these creative ways that you're truly just delaying making the decision. You're delaying taking action, you're delaying moving forward, because you're waiting on these perfect environments, you're waiting on these perfect situations to give you permission to operate in purpose. There are people who are waiting for permission to operate in purpose, waiting for permission to operate the way you were designed to operate, to be the person you were designed to be, waiting for someone to say, here's your green flag, you can go. That's not how purpose operates, right? So, in terms of perfectionism and analysis paralysis, I want you guys to ask yourself, anytime I get stuck in that perfectionism, listen, I will say, Brittany, is it good enough? You can sit up here and you can change the lines, you can change the sentences, you can change something for 24 hours a day. But with what you have right now, is it good enough to be effective? Right? I have to give myself permission to allow myself to be seen. And this is why authenticity, being okay with your authentic self, is so important. Because I am so okay with my authentic self. I'm going to get on camera even if I'm having a bad hair day, even if I'm having a bad makeup day, even if my clothes don't look right. I'm going to get on camera if my nails ain't done. I'm going to get on camera if I look, because that's my vehicle for my purpose. So I can't allow the idea of me being imperfect stop me from operating in purpose, right? And mind you, this was, if y'all go back, I don't think it's on my Instagram, but if you go back to day one when I first started doing videos, it's hard for me to watch those videos right now. But I wasn't waiting for something to look exactly the way I needed it to look. I gave myself permission to say, with what I have today, it's enough. With who I am today, it's enough. Expecting myself to continue to grow and to be better and to reach for more and to be higher. But that's the process, right? That I'll get there eventually. But with what you have today, is it enough? That's the decision that you have to make. Give yourself permission to set small goals, small achievable goals, right? So if you say, I want to start speaking on camera more, okay, cool. The small goal could be going live for 3 minutes, 3 minutes a week, right? It doesn't have to be this huge thing, but it's the mindset that I'm not going to wait for things to be perfect or for myself to be perfect before I allow myself to show up as who I want to show up as. Does that make sense? Okay, and last one. The last barrier for you guys walking in your purpose, achieving your purpose, is the fact that many of us lack support or resources. You lack support or resources. I don't know why. I don't know why. I remember I was having a conversation with someone one day, and he was like, I started a t-shirt business, and I'm so upset with my family because my family, none of them bought t-shirts, or they didn't buy t-shirts from me. And I asked him, I said, so did you make the t-shirts for your family? And he was like, well, no. I said, so why are you upset that they didn't buy? I said, who did you make the t-shirts for? Who is your customer base? Those are the people that we're looking forward to buying, right? And I say that because get upset about who didn't support us. So many of us get upset and we get distracted by who wasn't there. I should have put that on do not disturb. Or we get upset about the fact who didn't show up for us or who didn't come to our shows. That we're missing the fact that my purpose wasn't even intended for them. The thing that I've intended to do ain't even for those people. Most of the people in your family is not for, right? And so if you get distracted by the people who aren't there, you will miss the fact that I'm supposed to be effective for the people who are there, right? We have to focus on who is my purpose for? Who are the people that I'm intended to impact? Who are the people that I'm intended to touch? Who benefits by my life, by me waking up every day? Who are those people? Pursuing purpose at times can be a very lonely journey, especially when you're early in your purpose, because you probably haven't found your purpose angels yet, right? The people who are supposed to support you in your purpose and push you along in your purpose. So there will be this window of time where you are doing this thing by yourself. And this is where you're going to have to learn how to be your own source of support, your own source of encouragement, your own cheerleader that's cheering you on. You're going to have different things in your environment that constantly motivate you, that constantly inspire you, that constantly push you forward. If I don't have those people in my life, but understand that the people, you don't need the people to be purposeful, right? You don't need the people to be purposeful. And I think of purpose very much like it's like a corporation. Because here's the thing, right? My purpose doesn't belong to me. How have I not even brought this up before now? My purpose doesn't belong to me because I didn't come up with I didn't come up with the problem that I have to solve, and I didn't come up with the solution. God did all of that. My purpose doesn't belong to me. So here's the thing. If my purpose doesn't belong to me and it belongs to him, okay, then that means that anything that I am lacking, anything that I need to fulfill my purpose, it will be provided. I'm not the one who has to come up with the provision. It's not my responsibility to come up with the provision because the purpose doesn't belong to me. Last week, I told you God is an investor. He is invested in your success. So that means if he's invested in your success, when you need the people that you need to partner with to make purpose happen, those people will arrive. When you need the resources that you need to make purpose happen, they will arrive. Don't get so caught up on what's not present that you miss the fact that I can do a lot with what I have. I can do a lot with what I have, right? I don't want to go there. My thoughts are so hilarious. But I have been able to do so much, right? So much before I had a videographer, so much before I had a team, so much before I had a coach, or so much before I had resources, right? I was able to do so much with what I had in my hands that I was still effective. You have to be willing to do so much with what you have in your hands that you're so effective that people can't help but support you. People can't help but show up for you. People can't help but say, how can I get behind this? How can I be a part of this? Because you're doing so much already on your own with what you have. I want to be a part of this, right? We have to be willing to say, I'm not going to wait for people to join me in this fight. I'm not going to wait for people to respect what it is I have to offer. I'm not waiting on that. I'm showing up as who I am with what I have to give, knowing that what I have to give is enough for this season. All right. So when we talk about the barrier of not feeling like you have the resources or not feeling like you have the support, right? First of all, analyze with what do I already have in my hands? What do I already have? And what can I do with what I already have? With Because I promise you, you can be doing more. And sometimes I think the reason why it's hard for us to even make that mindset shift is because we look at what we have in our hands and then we look at what somebody else got. And I'm like, okay, but they're doing this, and they got this on their YouTube channel, and they have that, and she has that, and they've been married for this long. And so instead of looking at what we have in our hands, we're looking at somebody else's hands and comparing what we have to theirs, and then we diminish what we have as if it's not enough for the moment, as if I can't do something great with what I already have, as if I can't make a relationship with who I already have, as if I can't build the business with what I already have, as if I can't start my dream with what I already have, right? We have to change our perspective. And sometimes, not sometimes, with purpose, you got to put on blinders. With purpose, you have to put on blinders that stop you from constantly looking out into the world at what other people are doing and what other people are saying and how they're showing up. It's all about your purpose is you. How am I operating as I'm intended to be? Right? Overcoming these barriers, you guys, sometimes they pop up, okay, all at once. Sometimes you have the luxury of dealing with one at a time. It just depends on the season that you're in. It just depends on how things are going with you in your life. But understand that for every roadblock you hit as it relates to purpose, take the roadblock as confirmation. The fact that the roadblock showed up is confirmation that I'm on the right path. The fact that things just got difficult is confirmation that I'm on the right path. The fact that I feel like I am, struggling to get in my groove, it's confirmation I'm on the right path, right? When you are in that just comfortable place and things are complacent, that's when you can be like, hold on, wait a minute. What's happening here, right? But I want you to, if anything, always break down your purpose into manageable steps, bite-sized pieces, things that I can easily ingest and make it tangible. So many people make purpose this kind of concept or an idea, but purpose has to be tangible. You have to say, this is the thing I'm purposed to do. I'm purposed to bring joy in the world. I'm purposed to be a light in the world. I'm purposed to help people. I'm purposed to motivate others. Those are all intangible things. What you have to do is say, now, what is the action steps that allow me to do that? What are the action steps that makes my purpose real, that makes it something I can touch? That's how you can now hold yourself accountable for saying, yes, I am moving in my purpose in a meaningful way every day. And again, purpose is not something that you do. It's not this big thing. It's every day, right? Before I was doing what I'm doing on a large scale, I was doing it on a small scale. And I would hold myself accountable every day. What did you do to help someone? What did you do to speak life into someone? What did you do to make someone laugh today? What did you do to make someone smile today? Because that's my purpose. So you can do that on a small scale without having to do it on a big scale. Okay, that's what I have for you guys today. Hi, Brian.
You already know, and sorry, I'm in a darkly lit room at this point. I made my way to the studio while you were talking, actively listening, and then I was like, Brittany about to give it all away right now. She was about to go in. I was wait. You just kept going, kept going. I said, she's got a message for him today, so I was listening in. So how do you feel? How
I
did
feel
you?
good. So for you, those of you on Instagram, you can't see Breon because Breon is actually our community moderator, and he
Yeah,
does an amazing job moderating our community. And normally he'll give me the red light and be like, "You're going too long,"
I did
right?
not.
But today he has not cut me off.
I did
I
not.
feel good. I'm excited about the rest of our content for this week because we have a very good guest speaker this week. We have a very good guest speaker this week. If you're not in the Daily Fix, join the program, click the link, and learn about what we do every day. But yeah, I'm excited about the rest of the content for this week, and I'm definitely excited to get to our Men's Week.
No,
I'm
definitely.
sending all that information out today because the last 2 weeks of June we are focusing only on it's Men's Health Month, so we're going to focus only on serving our men, and we have Black male therapists coming in to have those conversations. So I'm excited about that.
No,
So
no.
all your guys and your men, the men that you love, send them the Daily Fix information so that they can sign up for those weeks as well.
Yeah, definitely send them our way. No, so that was good. That was good. A lot to digest, of course, for those of you be thinking on that community deep dive day, like some stuff that we may discuss, as a community. There's a lot that came out of today's session, especially just thinking about, I think about even the way you and I work together and that perfectionist thing versus me not care. Like, I don't care at all. I mean, like, we just
It
got to
kills
do
me. It
it.
kills me because you have to care. You have to care at some point, and it's not even. But you have seen how my attention to detail
Oh, no
makes
doubt.
things.
But it yin and yang, it works because it's gonna get done. We just have to figure out where that process is. So no, that was good. That was a good conversation. Glad to see, some additional people getting a chance to view it. And this is a part of the process. This is what we do. This is our relationship, the group, the community group that's already bonds are being formed there. People have met each other out of town. Like it's really exciting to see what's happening and how things have been growing. So good to see that today.
Yes, I'm excited. So for my Daily Fix members, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yes,
On my Instagram, y'all need to go join so that I will see y'all tomorrow as well. Okay.
yes. So that is the Monday, June 5th edition of the Daily Fix. We appreciate you joining, and we'll be back tomorrow.